This podcast episode has spoilers at around the halfway point, all the way to the ending. We recommend watching the movie first if you don't want to be spoiled.
Third World Cinema Club.
Hi guys, welcome to Third World Cinema Club. I'm John Tawasil from Present Confusion.
Hi, I'm Jim of Jimmy Licola, ba pa?
Hi, I'm Princess Kinoko of Film Police Reviews.
Today we'll be talking about a film the three of us saw very recently. It's Prime Cruises Ngayon Kaya. It was produced under T-Rex Productions, starring Paolo Avellino and Janine Gutierrez. Basically the gist of the story is it takes place in like two time periods. The first one is set in the past, in the early 2000s, when Paolo and Janine's characters were both college students, si Harold tsaka si AM respectively, no? And they had a dream to, do music together. Pero things intervened and yun nga. It leads on to the second time period, which is the present day, na where Harold and AM meet again. Apparently, they've been separated for a long time, and Harold went back to, and also AM, to participate in a friend's wedding, and then they meet each other, and then they look at the relationship that could have been, na hindi natuloy dahil for some reason or another things happen. So says your thoughts on the film. Siguro ikaw muna, tapos sunod ako.
So it's been a while since we've seen Prime Cruz and Jen Chua Unsu write and direct the film together. So sobrang excited ako to watch this. I believe this one was supposed to be shown 3 years ago, but then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, it was either part of PPP or yung
sa
Summer
MTRC.
MFFF.
Ayan, Summer MFF.
If you go back to our episode with Prime and Jen for Sleepless, yung parang anniversary, I think one of us mentioned it or asked them about it, na yun nga, depende pa rin daw sa producer kung kailan ilalabas. So medyo marami pinagdaanan tong pelikulang to.
Ayun. So, I have a review that's out later. Yes, later. Or kung siguro kung napakinggan niyo na to before or after my review went out. So, ang pinaka-favorite kong part na hinighlight ko sa review on this film is the music. So, yung music kasi, it acted like a double-edged sword in this film kasi the film, as you mentioned, John, earlier, is set in 2 timelines. So may past and present. And what better way for us to feel yung past na yun or yung timelines na yun through music. So once again, dahil maganda yung dynamics ni Jen and ni Prime when writing and directing a film, they sort of agreed with the kind of music that would carry us with the feels ng acting ni Paolo and ni Janine. So one of the things that made me excited to watch this film before was because I didn't really thought na possible or magwo-work yung dynamics ni Paolo and ni Janine as actors. And dito, although bigyan nila ng justice with their show called Marry Me, Marry You, still I want if you guys are interested to watch. Ang ganda ng dynamics nila as actors kasi when you look at their careers, sobrang aral din nila kung ano yung roles na kukunin nila. And that's something that I really like about Harold and AM. They're both very calculative din in terms of ano yung sasabihin nila, ano ba yung dapat na discard nila, kahit na magkaiba sila ng mundo and magkaiba sila ng ugali. So, not to spoil anything, ayun. So, yung film naman actually, kung titignan mo siya from a distance, sobrang simple lang niya. It's just about 2 old friends and yung feelings na hindi na-reveal, so may mga what ifs siya, ganyan. Pero what made it really work was the cinematography. May part dito na sobrang ganda ng bokeh. Yung parang bokeh siya na na lights, yung city lights nila. And then at the same time, yung concept of isolation na naman nga na laging prominent sa films ni Prime and ni Jen, which is highlighted in so many parts of the film. Yung isolation na nararamdaman nila with how they should achieve their dreams, should they pursue their passions, or should they go for the emotions muna, or should it be the responsibility? So, ayun, gaya ng sabi din ni Jen sa press screening, ang madidescribe niya yung characters the way that she wrote them as they're all restrained. So lahat sila restrained on what their decisions are. And again, to watch that kind of feeling ng tension, yung tension na goes beyond the tension between two what could have been lovers, ganyan. It's so beautiful to see on screen. So for me, it really, really worked. And yung time travel ko dito, sobrang ganda kasi high school ako nung nirelease si Mayonnaise. So, I mean, sa kanila college, pero alam mo yun, same naman na parang meron kang feelings or medyo mataas yung hormones mo noon kasi bata ka pa, ganyan-ganyan. Pero at the same time, conflicted ka din kung itutuloy mo ba yun or unahin mo muna yung responsibilities mo, ganyan. So, pero para sa akin, ito lang siguro yung second best na interpretation nung Bakit Part 2 na song ng Mayonnaise. Para sa akin pa rin, ang pinaka number 1 was Cleaners. Sobrang galing nung pasok ng Bakit Part 2 dun. Kasi same timeline na nirelease yung album nilang yun. And nung sa time setting ni Cleaners, which was 2004.
Ayun. Itong ngayon kaya, marami akong inisip nung pinanood ko to, no? Syempre, Prime Cruise, Prime and Jen, yung dalawang yan, when they pair with each other as a director-screenwriter, ang galing na output eh. In fact, yung Isa Pa With Feelings is one of my favorite films of that year. Yung number 1 ko siya sa listahan ko. Kasi sobrang nagandahan ako. Here, yun nga, inisip ko din yan, Ses, yung themes of isolation between the two characters. Pero dito, parang iba yung approach niya kumpara sa Sleepless tsaka sa Manananggal. Their isolation is a choice na pinili nila yon because, well, I won't go into spoiler territory, pero pinili nila yon because of personal reasons. Yung pwedeng dahil kailangan mo munang mabuhay bago ka, alam mo yon, makasama yung ibang tao, or there's something holding you back. Yun nga yung tinatawag niyang restraint. Yung parang something's holding you back from trying to go for your dreams. Kasi the film is parang isa battle against isa battle between yung pragmatism ng isang simpleng buhay versus isang buhay na kumbaga relatively privileged na you can do whatever you want with little consequences because you have the resources to fail. There are some people that do not have the resources to fail. One shot lang yan. Otherwise, sira ang buhay mo. Mahihirapan ka ng, you have people to support. You have a family to help. As opposed to yung wala ka namang kailangan tulungan. May kaya ka eh. And in that respect, I found it very similar to two very recent particular films. One of them is Antoinette Hadaone's Never Not Love You. The other one is Irene Villamore's Sid and Aya. Both of them are some of my favorite movies of that respective year. No, na yun nga. It's a well-worn trope, pero very interesting yung treatment nila doon. Na yun nga. There's parang class differences, they create blind spots. And before you know it, wala na. Whatever promise, anything might have had a musical career, a relationship, whatever it might have been, yun, nawawala siya na parang bula. And I talked also about this with Jason Liwag from Rappler, no. He was saying something about yung kanyang approach to the film is somewhere along yung what ifs din. Alternate possibilities. Parang pero kasi sa atin, we only live one life. Unfortunately, hindi to para si Michelle Yeoh sa Everything Everywhere All at Once na tumalon na lang sila Janine sa ibang universe na naging sila, di ba? Pero kung pwedeng gano'n na lang. There's a time when you have to stop looking back at the past and focus on what is. And I think the end scene, which is again spoiler, it's a little bit ambiguous on what's supposed to happen, pero parang yun yung crystallization nung moment na ito ang realidad, dito tong dapat kong gawin. Although yun nga, it's still holding out the possibility of something new, something different. Anyway, it's very nostalgic. Although hindi ako part ng bar scene sa mga Sagiho tsaka Root nung early 2000s. I'm sure a lot of people na sanay doon or yung parang who lived that era. Yung mga ang nawawala peeps, kung natatandaan yung film na yun ni Maria Mora sa Cinemalaya, di ba? Very ganun siya. Yung atmosphere that they're trying to, and there are times that's very shoegazy. Parang kumbaga it's almost mumblecore-ish na pelikula.
Para siyang it took us back to that era ng mumblecore na silang dalawa na nag-uusap and yung band scene. Which was very important pala dun sa decade din. Kung yung decade nila was like early 2000s. Kasi it was kind of like the prime era of OPM.
Yeah, and din, parang dumoble yung nostalgia factor niya. Kasi din because of the pandemic na delay siya, even the scenes that take place in the present harken back to a pre-COVID, world na pwede kang lumabas wherever, inom-inom lang kayo, manood kayo manood kayo ng cityscape sa bundok na walang masks. So even then, parang nag-double nostalgia siya inadvertently dahil nga na-delay siya for that long. Technically, wala akong masasabi. Anytime it's a Prime Cruise film, very technically excellent siya. Well shot, well edited. Yung kudos ko talaga sa production design and lighting. May scene doon na nasa wedding reception si Harold tsaka si AM, and yung mukha ni Janine ay naiilawan doon sa table. Siya lang yung may ilaw na parang na-highlight siya.
Pati sa doon sa Bakit Part 2 scene.
Oo, siya lang din. Na very ingenious yung paglagay ng light kasi nandun yun sa yung light na nandun sa table, tapos feel ko may bukas lang doon para mailawan siya, and yung mga kasama niya naka gray and white lang, siya yung talagang may ibang damit,
sila lang ang naka powder blue ni Paolo.
So yun, it's very in terms of technical aspect, is very well considered. In a way, it's a bit of a shame na hindi natin to nakita ng 2020 in its, in its original form. But on the other hand, hindi mangyayari kung siguro mas mabuboost hopefully yung popularity ng Merry You Merry Me, and then yung yun nga this is a very big risk kasi nga this is one of the first Filipino films that will be released in cinemas. And sobrang konti niyan. Mabibilang ko sa kamay ko yung lumabas sa sinehan, and I doubt a lot of people watched beforehand. So this is really a big risk. Hopefully, if you want to watch it, guys, on the 22nd, stay safe. Yung magsuot kayo ng masks, please lang. And if you can, stay one seat apart, or kung tabi-tabi kayo, okay lang. Pero basta be very be very conscious of, what's going on. Huwag kayo masyadong kumain.
Mm.
Kumain na lang kayo before. Ganun.
Oo.
Pero
Um,
yun lang actually.
May dadagdag ko, pero Jim, ikaw muna.
Spoiler alert.
Sa akin naman, when I saw it during the screening, na-miss ko manood ng pelikula sa sine na, alam mo, stand-alone yung Filipino films. Kasi yung last kong napanood sa sine prior to The Batman ay MMFF films, yung Hard Day and Big Night. So, nung nasa isip ko, wow, big risk. Gamble to. Ganon. But then again, kahit gamble siya, I believe it will pay off. Kasi the film is naman maganda yung film. Nagustuhan ko yung film. I agree with John. When it comes to the technical aspect of film, excellent yung film. And yun ang maganda sa pelikula ni na Jen and Prime Cruz. Kasi pag nag-establish sila ng mga business ng characters, very clear. Hindi siya nagiging accessories na ito yung trabaho niya, ito yung ginagawa niya. No, talaga nakikita mo like, di ba nag-waiter si Paolo Avellino, nakita ni Janine Gutierrez, ni AM. Doon mo nakikita agad na merong class divide or different social classes. Ganon. Ang maganda sa pelikula, again, it's a film about choices. Di ba? Merong regrets, ganyan. Kasi, kaya nga, what if, di ba? Kasi, kaya naman tayo nagkakaroon ng mga what if kasi may mga times sa life natin na yung mga hindi natin nagawa or yung mga may mga mali tayong decision, which is nakikita dun sa film, ganun. For instance, yun yung, pwede na ba natin sabihin, parang spoiler na yun. Yung mas pinili, di ba, ni Paolo or ni Harold to go to Canada kasi nga to help his family. Although AM still parang pursuing, di ba, the music career. Pero in reality, economically speaking, talagang we will decide kung ano yung makaka-help sa atin. Hindi lang actually sa atin, but sa family natin. Para ma-understand mo yung character ni Paolo Avellino, na si Harold. And syempre, di ba yung at first, nakakatuwa kasi nung, di ba yung Mr. Late, Miss Late, may part doon sa film. Tapos yung parang tinawag siya sa kotse ni Janine Gutierrez. Nasa isip ko, parang ang sayo ng dalawang kaliwang paa, nagpalit. Pero ito straight version na si Paolo Avellino na ngayon yung inaaya kasi before in sayaw siya yung nag-aaya kay Rocco Nasino. Here it's Janine Gutierrez. And yun yung totoo yung sabi mo nga Ses, regarding dun sa paggamit ng music kasi very siya na aspect ng pelikula kasi dun natin nakikita yung different music used in decades, 'di ba? So like yun, yung Joe Pye, so parang fourth year high school ako, oh my gosh. So iniisip ko kung yung character nila college, so tanda sila sa akin, ganon. Tapos yung mga Bakit Part 2, bandang Shirley, 'di ba? Yun yung part na to, I believe, to connect with the audience kasi yun naman ang pinaka-important, I believe, to connect to the audience aside from the story, the characters, ay yung paggamit ng music. Kasi yun yung nakakapag-connect and interact with other people, ang paggamit ng music. Ano pa ba? Ay sabi ko sa pelikula. Yun na, going back to the social or the social class or class divide. Regarding dun sa gustong i-pursue talaga ni Janine Gutierrez yung music career with Paolo Avellino. Doon sa status kasi niya, privilege siya. So parang, sige, go lang kahit mag-fail ka, ganyan. Sige, ganyan. Pero with Paolo Avellino, may part sa kanya or may part kay Harold na hindi siya pwedeng mag-fail kasi magkakaroon ng domino effect pati doon sa family niya. Pero going back again, kasi di ba ang film na to, present flashback, ganun yung nangyayari. um, yung pagbibigay ng atensyon ng character ni Janine Gutierrez na si Amihan or AM to Paul Avellino. Alam mo kahit siguro sino, mahuhulog sa kanya kasi nagbigay ka ng attention, 'di ba, dun sa isang tao. 'Di ba parang in reality once a person gives you an attention and then always there for you. Kasi dun sa aspeto na 'yon, kaya ng character ni Janine Gutierrez, 'di ba? Kaya parang 'di ba nagkaroon sila ng confrontation. Kasi na confrontation kasi sinabi na parang ang selfish kasi with the social divide in or the class divide or the social class, hindi mawawala yun lalo na sa atin dito in the Philippines. Diba?
Yun din yung
So,
add ko rin kasi I agree with that. Nilagay ko rin sa review ko. Ang galing nila maglagay ng socio-economic
yes.
status ng mga characters nila, no? Like for example, sa isa pa with feelings, I mean, yung isa, ang struggles niya is yung ambition niya maging architect, di ba? Tapos isa naman, yung struggles niya is yung struggle niya in a non-deaf world. Kasi deaf siya. Tapos yung sa Sleepless, parehas silang may
call center agent sila eh.
Oo, meron silang para siyang dead end. Nasa dead end sila ng career kasi yun yung feeling lagi ng mga nasa call center. Parang ito na yun eh. This is the last frontier, parang ganun. Tapos dito, ang galing din ng pagkakalagay ng parang hindi siya spoiler pero may part doon na in-emphasize yung differences nila in terms of socio-economic status. Like for example, yung Colin recall niya na sa una, ang may kotse si Paolo. Tapos biglang nung sa flashback, ang may kotse si Janine.
Yes.
Tapos sa present time, yung medyo parang well-off and successful is si Paolo. Pero si Janine, she looks like she's falling apart.
Para nagkaroon ng reversal of fortune, something like that.
Tapos samantalang sa past, as in si Paolo para siyang tayo na wow. Parang ganun yung tingin niya sa bahay ni Janine. Na kahit tayo, di ba Jim, parang naka-wow tayo. Wow! Ganda ng bahay. Ganun. Ang galing lang nung pagkakalagay na kasi usually pag rom-com, ang highlight yung characters na parang they're gonna fall in love, ganyan. Kahit yung for me, isang heartbreaking scene. Hindi ko na lang i-detail. Basta naiyak ako dun sa scene na motor siyang dumating, bus siyang umuwi. Alam mo yun, parang tas alam mo parang that character nag-try siyang mag-risk. Pero parang na-realize niya na, ito na yung wake-up call niya na, is it worth risking? Kasi parang, hindi yata at ito for me. Parang ganun.
Kasi may natatawa akong part dun sa sa ngayon kaya. Kasi di ba parang nagsalita, parang nagkikwentuhan sila ni Harold and AM. Kasi kakasal na di ba si Harold. So this is spoiler alert. Parang napanaan natin. Para engaged
lang siya.
Yeah, doon sa engaged doon sa girlfriend abroad sa Canada. Tama 'di ba? Ngayon bigla nagsalita si AM na si Harold ng balak namin ikasal sa church, 'di ba ganon. Tapos biglang singit si Janine Gutierrez ng nag-church ka na pala. Kasi parang feeling ko pag may mga ganong kasing conversation, no, hindi kasi nawawala kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng pagkaka-generalize or generalization with people attending church, ganon. Kasi parang ina-associate natin with religious hypocrisy. Kaya natawa ako dun sa banat na yon. But anyway, ang na-notice ko kay Janine Gutierrez, ang galing ni Janine Gutierrez kasi dun sa mga films na ginawa niya, like Dito at Doon. Gumawa pa siya 'di ba ng Ikaw, 'di ba? Yung isang film niya. Tapos itong ngayon kaya parang pwede ko ba siyang ma-consider na parang the pandemic rom-com queen kasi wala namang ibang actress na gumawa ng mga ganitong film during this 'di ba? During this pandemic.
In fairness, wala nga. Parang siya yung in terms of output siya pinakamarami.
Ganon. Kasi with Elise, that's pre-pandemic. Pero in fairness, nagsunod-sunod siya, Elise, Tapos ito na nga yung Dito at Doon, Ikaw, tapos ito ng Ngayon Kaya. So sabi ko, wow, nakakatuwa yung ano niya, yung choices of films niya na parang naalala ko during the 2010s si Jeneline Mercado in English Only Please, Walang Forever, tapos All of You, Just the Three of Us. So parang dun siya nalilinya when it comes to the film choices or mga ginagawa niyang films. Ganun. Tapos, ano pa bang masasabi ko about the film? Parang nasabi ko naman na lahat, I believe. So, yeah. So, kung meron kayong sabihin, go.
Ayun.
Go, John.
Ako okay na. Actually, nasabi ko na lahat. Yun. Na-enjoy ko naman siya. It's in fairness, tumatak naman siya sa akin after I saw it. And I feel yung mga fans na manonood ng pelikulang to, I feel ko magugustuhan nila. Yun. Yun lang. Kakaibang Janine Gutierrez ng Mapapande. Siguro we have a lot of other plot related questions, pero pwedeng nating itanong yun when we're planning an episode din kasi in the future also about Ngayon Kaya. So siguro i-reserve ko na lang until then yung thoughts ko. Ikaw, Ses, any final thoughts on the film before we end this episode? Wow.
I agree na na sobrang enjoyable siyang panoorin. And when we say na very commendable yung tandem ni Paolo and Janine, it's not in the typical love team kind of manner. Nga siya parang very classic rom-com yung dating niya, pero set in reality. So I really, really like this film as one of the best romantic dramas of 2022. Yan.
To be fair, wala masyadong romantic dramas in 2022.
Yes, it's a refreshing take on Bastos films. More later, we have separate episode on Viva Max.
Feel ko yung ano lang ba katambal niya ngayon taon na local? 366? No?
Yes, pero Viva Max yun not in the cinema.
Saka yun, kasi very very pambata si Don Bell so I don't consider it as a rom-com genre for my taste. At least to swak siya for mature audiences.
Yes, that's
Meron
true.
din siyang particular na scene na very powerful na try nating itanong sa mga sa lead stars soon. Pero ito pala, closing ko na lang din for us all. Magbigay kayo ng isang what if. Ano ang inyong what if?
Nalala ko tinanong sa akin.
Ayoko pa sagutin yan.
Kaya mo sagutin? Ako, years ago, may audition for Spring Awakening in Manila. Gusto ko kasi yung Spring Awakening na stage play or Broadway, blah blah, ganyan. So I wanted to try out kasi nag-practice na ako nung script niya kasi available yung script niya online dati. I download, practice ko na siya, ganyan everything, ganyan. Kaso nawala kami ng kuryente. Tas parang may work ako noon. Tas alam mo yun, parang sabi ko, shucks, anong unahin ko, yung pagpunta sa CCP para mag-audition or dito lang ako maghanap ako ng way para ma-reconnect yung ilaw natin. Yun. So sabi ko, ano kaya nangyari kung nagtuloy ako ng audition? Ganyan, no? So yun lang yung what if ko. Pero ngayon, okay na. I'm okay. I don't like that, that showbiz stuff. Pero wow!
Sa edad kong to, mahirap na magka-regret sa buhay. Kung nangyari siya, edi yun na yun. So,
correct. Ikaw, Jim.
Diplomatic
What if-
answer.
Jim.
Sabi ko,
Jim.
what if naka-boyfriend ako? Charot! Siguro yung what if ko ngayon is, what if talagang naghanap na ako ng work na Spanish bilingual kasi di ba? Tapos ng Spanish language class. Ayun. Last word, I think, with Ngayon Kaya, multiverse of multiverse of sadness.
Multiverse of sadness.
Yeah.
Truth.
Ayun. Yun lang.
Yay.
All right. So, yun lang. Ngayon kaya premieres in cinemas June 22. If you have the time and the money, please go out and watch it. And support our local filmmakers. I think the three of us can
Yes.
vouch na okay naman siya na pelikula. It's very
Yes.
nice. And it's worth watching. Feel ko naman by June 22, napanood nyo na ang Top Gun, napanood nyo na yung kung anong mga Marvel dyan. Okay na, pwede na kayong balik na muna kayo sa Philippine cinema.
Tsaka sulit yung yung music na marinig mo siya sa sinehan.
Oo nga.
Sulit.
I think it's an experience best viewed in a theater.
In cinema.
Yeah. So, yun lang, no? From all of us to all of you, we will be having more features. Not only on ngayon kaya, pero on other films. Excited ako dun sa next episode na discuss natin. puro
Oo.
kababalaghan siguro pag-usapan natin. Pero
Correct.
until then, ayun. Thank you guys for watching and goodbye.
For listening.
For
Take
for
care.
listening pala. Hindi pala to video. Ayan, take care pala. O yan, bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Stay safe.
Bye!